Hey, everybody. Well, I went to see one of my two oncology doctors that I'm still seeing yesterday, and I reached the 2 year mark, and I'm still cancer free. So, yay, I beat the cancer. Um, that's the good news. Now, I got to address the big elephant in the room that everybody's been talking about and that we can't seem to get away from, which is the Epstein files, the client list, thousands of victims, both young girls and boys, young women, who were victimized by this sex trafficking and pedophilia ring that Jeffrey Epstein headed up. He had several properties, and every single one of those properties ended up being a place where he would take people and would do very heinous things to women and children. There were babies that were violated, babies that were in secret rituals, dismembered and eaten. He made jerky out of little babies for his special guests. Now, we knew that Donald Trump and Bill Clinton were in the files. A lot of other people were in the files that I didn't know about until I started reading the files and watching people like Rachel Maddow and Lawrence O'Dell and Occupy Democrats and Luke Beasley and different ones. Started paying attention to what they were saying about it. And you can, by Freedom of Information Act, get copies of the files that are heavily redacted. But what's in those files is totally heinous, cruel. It's the reason we've been saying release the files all this time. We don't care who's in those files. We want the people that did it prosecuted and in jail for the rest of their lives if they participated in rape, molestation, or the cannibalism of little babies. I don't care if it's President Trump, if it's any member on his cabinet, and there's a bunch of them on his cabinet that are in the Epstein files, or if it's foreign dignitaries. 2 people in England have already been prosecuted for what's in the Epstein files and the fact that they were in the government and that they were giving information to Jeffrey Epstein. One of which was Prince Andrew, and another one was one of their ministers, prime minister or ambassador, whatever you want to call him. But he got arrested. It's funny how over in Europe, they're going after the people who were in the Epstein files. The United Kingdom and Europe. But here in America, we're protecting the people that did it. But Pam Bondi redacted all the names of the people that were doing things and allowed the names of the victims to be shown when the Supreme Court had said, that only the victims were supposed their names to be redacted, and the names of everybody else was supposed to be released. But Pam Bondi was doing what Trump wanted, which was to keep all his buddies' names out of it and his name out of it as much as possible. But you couldn't keep his name out of it. Trump is in there more times than anybody else. Thousands of times his name is mentioned in those files. But I'm trying to stay away from that as much as possible now because it gets very overwhelming. It's very depressing. And honestly, that's not where my life is at the moment. These days, I'm just trying to survive from one day to the next. I'm working on the last 2 reborn dolls, finishing them up, getting the hair rooted. And I'm working on my junk journals and my paintings and my crochet. And I'm taking up knitting. So I'm staying busy when I'm not doing chores. I'm not going downtown to the day center or anything because I can't trust that the people there are not involved with that group. And I don't trust people anymore. I don't want to be backstabbed. I've learned how to live without people and be satisfied. And that's just where things stand now. I don't want people anymore. I don't need them. It would be nice to have a couple of friends that I could play D&D with. But beyond that, I don't want to see people anymore. Been hurt too much. And when an empath gets hurt too much and starts pushing people away, you know they've crossed the line. Anyway, you guys have a really good day today. And try not to freak out too much over what's in the Epstein files. I'll talk with you guys later. Bye-bye.